All right, hey guys, good morning. This is the Panfish guy, and I'm just doing a little wrap up of my Livescanner install on the boat. I didn't bore you guys with all the details of the install, but figured I'd just give you kind of run through what I ended up doing, how I had to kind of adjust in a couple places. So let's just get into it. So you see I've got the Livescanner with the over the side mount on the boat, and I had to get a little creative with the base, the mount base to the boat itself, because hardware that came with it wasn't really going to do the trick, because once I drilled a hole where my mounts were going to be, I had just a hollow thing there, and there were some gadgets in there to kind of fill in the hole and put a screw in, but it wasn't doing the trick. So ended up making a little run to the hardware store, and I got some of these bad boys right here. And because that's hollow underneath once you drill through that metal, so put these hollow wall anchors in underneath of it, secured it. They worked really nicely. So just, you know, you might need to make a run to the hardware store if you get into this. So, but that thing is nice and secure now. It ain't going anywhere. I was kind of worried about, because I fish in a lot of stumps, and you know, that the thing's gonna run it, the transducer is gonna bounce off some stumps and get pushed and twisted and all that. So just wanted to make sure I had something nice and rock solid up here, and the rest of it can kind of flex as I go, you know. So, but there's the head mount here, and basically what I did then was, once I got the base on here, I had to kind of figure out how I routed my cabling. My wiring is going through, power is going through the access over here. All right, so, but again, I ran my wiring up through the belly of the boat and up under this access hole. I've got this storage box here, and all my wiring's up underneath there, and I made sure I wrapped them real good, put some heat shrink on them, made sure they're not gonna go anywhere, and got that set up. And then when I set up the pole here, I already had this gadget here from my previous install, so it was like, and no reason to change that, but I did have to move it a little bit. When I set up this pole here, when I attached the bottom end of the pole, I actually cut about 7 inches off of it. So I cut off 7 inches on this end of it, not the end with the plastic plug in it. So, because I don't want that thing running too deep. It looked to me like it's going to be too deep, and I kind of mimicked the height, or the same height that I had on the Seelite pole. Seemed to work okay. So kind of went with that same length here. So we've got, you know, there from top to bottom. And the other thing I did here, then I got the mount on, I got the transducer on. I still got to eyeball it, make sure it's lining up correctly once I get it in the water. I might endeavor to do that here a little bit later this afternoon. But then this thing kind of runs at a little bit of an angle, which I'm okay with, but I might like it to be a little lower profile at some point, kind of bring this front end down where it's not sticking up so much, and you know, kind of it might get away with fishing and stuff. So just have to see how that works out. But I might adjust the height on this pole and then the pole that inserts, just to kind of bring it down a little bit. Work in progress on that. But then my cabling from my foot pedal, I've got this little extra length of cable here, so I kind of wrap this around the bottom of the pole here, and I'm going to kind of tie that up real tight and get it to where it'll be as not as intrusive as possible. I tend to get stuff snagged up on the front of the boat here, so we're going to try to make sure I don't have anything extra to get snagged on. And I left this far enough back where I feel like it's still got enough clearance on my, if I'm using my spider rigging racks on the front here. I feel like it's still got enough clearance here where I can make that work and not beat the things up. But the other thing I got a little concerned about is the foot pedal. It is heavy, but I've got my cabling running this direction for the control, but then I got the other cable running up through this access hole, so my power. And I don't necessarily, like traveling down the road, I'm getting ready to go to Texas, I don't know if I like the idea of it just sitting free in there, because I feel like it's going to pull on the cable. So I think there's a way you can screw this down. It looks like there's some holes underneath here, but I don't know if I can get to them. So I might, I might be able to screw it down, but then I was just thinking some Velcro. Put some Velcro, two-way Velcro padding underneath here to kind of stick it down to the deck where it's not jumping around, because I know it's going to move. It's guaranteed it's going to move, but I just don't want it pulling on that power wire. So we're gonna try to secure that down, but I'd like to have the flexibility of moving it around a little bit, because sometimes I'm sitting in the middle seat here, I'm sitting on the middle seat pedestal, sometimes I'm sitting on this right seat pedestal. So I like the idea of being able to move it around. Plus, we're spider rigging. We got a minnow bucket sitting up here. I want to kind of move it over here where I can get still set my minnow bucket up there. So just like to have a little bit of flexibility with it, but we'll see how that works. And then that about covers it. I'm gonna get the pedal secured, and I'm gonna get up here in the seat and drop this thing down and just see if I can get my alignment correct on it, and we might even get it out to the water later. Plus we got another little goodie to put on here in a little bit. So stuff to play around with, but I will be back once I'm able to kind of demo it and get the Livescope fired up, make sure everything looks right, and we'll talk in a little bit, guys. What I like about this mount is that it's somewhat adjustable, very, very adjustable actually. But what I wanted to do, and I forgot one other item too, what I wanted to do is, I've had issues in the past where if I pull up to a dock or something like that, this pole, the old pole would kind of hang over and it'd try to get caught on stuff, and I still got a little bit of that going on. But what I did here was I was able to adjust this pole in a little bit at the top, at the front, because normally it would sit something like that, right? And I was just able to push it in a little bit here so that it's tucked in, it's not sticking out as far as what the old one did. And so we got that, and that way just a little better for storage, a little better for navigating before you actually put it in the water, and it's really easy to adjust that. And then the other thing I did here too was I added these cable management ties that I got from Jake Nolly with Precision Fishing Design. These are pretty handy here. I left a little loop here in case I want to go to down image or what have you, down image or perspective mode. I've got the perspective mount on here. So, but I've got two ties here, and the challenge I have is being this pole, this part of the pole is static. This part of the pole turns. I'll show you. So, so the one end of the pole turns. Everything from this little carbuncle thing down, and then the top piece doesn't. So, but these clips are loose enough to let, I left a little extra loop up here. These clips are loose enough that it will let the cable kind of slide through in case it gets in a bind, or I mess around and turn it too far like I shouldn't. But those are real handy things. So if you look into something like that, it's better than the old way, the old electrical tape. It worked okay, but like this would be handy just to make sure I got a little bit of slack here in case I go crazy, or I hit a stump and the transducer turns around or something. So just kind of give me a little extra layer of protection. But then once I drop it in the water, bada boom, bada bing. And for some reason the left pedal there's a little noisy, but so we got that there. And then like I say, I'm gonna do a little demo and get up here and put a battery in the Livescope and play around with it. I can already see, I think I need just from looking at it right here, because this is, well, that's straightforward. It might not be too bad, but I might need to adjust that mount just a little bit, get it lined up. But let's see, hands-free, can't beat it. So anyway, let me get up on the boat here and I'll demo it for you real quick. We'll be back in a minute. Later, guys. So I got some double-sided Velcro here. I'm going to put down, just kind of hold that, try to hold that foot pedal in place so it's not sliding around, because I've been through Arkansas before. I'm driving through Arkansas to get to Texas next week, and that thing's going to move around, trust me. So I may be hanging out of the edge of the boat by the time we get there, who knows. But I'm just going to secure it a little bit with this stuff. And what else do I have to say here? I think that's pretty much, like I say, it's pretty much going to be a wrap for that install. Didn't bore you with all the details, but I think this will work. I just might have a couple tweaks to do here and there, but it's going to be a big change for me as far as how I use my Livescope, and I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good deal for all involved. So that's going to do it for the moment. We'll check back later. We got a couple other little things to do on the boat today, but no more concerning the Livescanner other than that thing there. So we're out for now. Talk to you guys later. It's the Panfish Guy. Alright guys, two other things I want to cover real quick on this Livescanner setup real quick. So I got me basically some two-way Velcro strips here, and I've stuck it on the front of the boat here, and just kind of put that where I think it'll work. And then, you know, if I decide when I'm in the boat and I need to move this around, I can just peel it up and move it where I want to. But I think this will just help me feel better about it, you know, being somewhat secured, right? And while we're traveling, and particularly because, you know, I've had in the past with my manual pull, I actually had an occasion where my whole dang pole tried to fall off the boat. It was just hanging by the wire, which isn't a good thing. So I always try to make sure that when I'm trailering, especially on a long trip like we're taking next week, that this thing's going to be secure, right? So here's what I propose, and I've done this this is pretty much what I did with the other pole too. So I've got that little cradle there, right, where that back end of that's going to sit in there. Wrap that around, just making sure that it doesn't really have the opportunity to move around or get out of there. And then, like I showed you before, I can loosen this up, kind of tuck it in, like so, and then I use bungee strap, and I haven't done this yet, so I don't quite know how it's gonna look. It'll look redneck for sure, undoubtedly, but I know that base isn't going anywhere, so I'm just kind of yeah, that'll work. Tuck it like so, and then because I know that base isn't going anywhere, tighten that up real good, and I think that will trailer really well. So that's one thing you got to think about when you're putting stuff like this on your boat, how well it's gonna do on a 900-mile trip, right? So but like I say, just wanted to throw that in here, and then like I say, I got that foot pedal. It's not going anywhere, but the big thing on the pedal is I don't care if it slides, but I don't want it pulling on this power, because I got that power down in the belly of the boat, and it's sealed up real good and everything, but that gets yanked on, could pull the wire loose, so I don't need to mess with that again. So that's what I got for now. We're gonna close this out for the Livescanner install. You know, and I didn't really show you a whole bunch of the actual work, because honestly that's boring. So, but that's my setup, and I think it's really gonna be a big change, a big help for me. So that's it for now, guys. Talk to you later. Well, that's all we got for now, gang, but I'd really like it if you went and checked out our friends at my724outdoors.com. Ray is a great friend, and he has an amazing platform over there. If you're into all kinds of outdoor content, you should definitely give him a look. And make sure you check out the socials at Panfish Guy on Facebook, Daniel Palmer 5623 on Instagram, at PanfishG on X, formerly known as Twitter, and my website, panfishguy.com. And as always, please like, comment, and share, please. It will really help out the channel. You know, one day I'm hoping that this channel will help pay for my fishing habit when I retire.
Hey, knock it off.